Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Awwab's Insight Lounge. It's been a while. Today, I have a very special guest. This guest is an expert on something that is very crucial for every business to do, and not many people understand it, and it's financial modeling. Our guest here today is Hassan. Hassan, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
He has worked at numerous companies from PwC to Scotiabank, and he also started his own little financial modeling company called North America Financial Modeling, NAFM for short. So all he does, like his main objective is to allow companies to make smarter decisions when it comes to money. Hassan, thank you so much for being here. To kick things off, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. So my name is Hassan. I'm a designated AFM, so I'm an advanced financial modeler. My background is I did a BBA from Wilfrid Laurier University. I majored in finance, and then I did my MBA from the University of Texas Permian Basin. I've worked at PwC in their business modeling team. I've worked at, like you mentioned, I had co-op opportunities at OTTP, Scotiabank, Instar AGF Asset Management. And I worked in corporate development at G3 Canada, which is based in Winnipeg. And I did valuations at Mazars before joining my most recent role at BrightPath, where I do corporate development and M&A. That's a little bit about me professionally. I'm passionate about financial modeling. That's what I'm passionate about, and strategy. And that's a lot of the work that we do in my role currently at BrightPath.
So, what's your origin story? How did you start from PwC to G3 and even the current company that you're working at to founding NAFM?
Yeah, so a lot of the skills that I acquired at PwC, G3, Mazars, were very relevant to the work that I do at NAFM. So at PwC, I used to build financial models from scratch. At Mazars, I used to do valuation of companies in the infrastructure space using methodologies like DCF, comparables, precedent transactions. And at G3, I was looking at helping this company grow as being a part of the corporate development function.
Yeah.
And that's through opening up new sites. So I would analyze, is this new site feasible? Does it make sense from a return perspective that we target? Does it make sense to open up this site? Do the demographics make sense for us? So a lot of my work was related to financial modeling, valuation, strategy, analysis, and that's the type of service that I was providing to my clients through NAFM.
Yeah. So why financial modeling? Like, what made you choose this when a lot of people don't even know what it is?
I'd say it's definitely a niche. Not everybody knows financial modeling. Not everybody uses financial modeling, but when you're working in the corporate development space or finance in general, you need to know financial modeling. And I started financial modeling really young when I was in school. I joined the Laurier Student Investment Fund in my fourth year of school, and we were asked to value two stocks. I valued Pizza and Carriage Services, and the way we valued these stocks was through financial modeling, DCFs. And that's when I got acquainted to it, fell in love with financial modeling because it kind of helps you put all the numbers together and put all your thoughts into Excel, which is the main source, which is the main method of modeling that we use. There's a lot of providers that do cloud financial modeling now in the cloud, and it's all, but normally financial modeling is done in Excel. It's very dynamic there. And it's just core to what I do. I built financial models from scratch at PwC and did financial modeling at Mazars, another consulting firm. It's very important. and I actually got my AFM designation
Oh, wow.
through the Financial Modeling Institute. So it's a critical skill to have, and I just thought it was so important for me. As early in my career, I was trying to hone into like what skills am I good at, and what can I become an expert in, and I chose financial modeling because it's so important in all facets of finance.
Definitely, I agree with that. So you worked with some of the biggest companies out there, and you went to starting on your own firm. You've trained professionals. You've offered a lot of advice. Let's say if you were able to meet your younger self, a 20-year-old Hassan, what's the first piece of financial wisdom you would give him?
I would say, looking back at my career now, I a wisdom that I would share um, is be patient. Um, don't rush into things. Be patient, and also uh, don't give up too quickly. I think as a founder of a business, you're wearing many hats. You're doing business development. You're doing marketing, sales. You're doing the technical stuff. I had one intern helping me out from the University of Toronto for a little bit. So you're managing people as well. So it's be patient, trust the process, don't give up, and the harder you work, uh, the more work comes your way. It took me about a few months until I landed my first client, and I leveraged that to create case studies, and then I went on to my second client, and that's just how it goes. Um, and I really enjoyed that whole process until I
Yeah.
started working at Brightpath and helping them grow through uh, in their corporate development team.
So how did you go from your regular 9 to 5, and the way you describe it, it's like you're working 24/7 now. You got to manage people. You got to do marketing. You got to do sales. You got to like. Did you do it as a side hustle, or did you focus on it completely?
So I started NAFM as an MBA project when I was doing my MBA at the University of Texas Permian Basin. I started it in the middle in my second last semester, and I wanted to kind of put all the work experience I had into one company, but then also my learnings from the MBA into this company as well. So I started NAFM. I incorporated it, set up a website, did all that myself, created a business plan for myself, found out what kind of target market I can focus on. So it started off as a side project, and I did it full time.
Oh, wow.
Even after I graduated my MBA program, I was doing it full time for about a year.
Yeah. What do you think are the most common money management mistakes the younger demographic makes when they're trying to start a business or a side hustle?
I think the biggest mistake could be because you have limited resources when you start off. You're trying to bootstrap, um, and you're trying to grow at the same time. So allocating your funds in the wrong area could be a mistake when you're starting off. I had limited resources. I was spending a lot on my MBA program, and I was trying to start a business at the same time. So I focused my money on what really mattered. I put together a website, um, set up an email for myself, started reaching out to clients using that as a marketing tool, set up a LinkedIn page. Um, I didn't hire any employees. That's something that I'm looking at into right now. I didn't hire any employees initially. It was just me uh, doing the technical work and the business development aspect of it. I was looking into developing an online portal
Yeah.
for my clients where they could go and drop off their financial models or business plans or strategic plans, and then I would do the work on there, use AI, um, leverage AI, and then create outputs for them or deliverables on that platform. And I was talking to vendors who were giving me quotes that were ranging from 20K to 50K.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to build something sophisticated. Um, I wanted it to look professional, but that was totally out of my budget. Now they do have people that utilize them, create websites and platforms where clients can go in and log in and put their upload materials. They're serving certain people, but that just wasn't in my budget. So what I did is I searched for alternatives, and I came across Microsoft SharePoint.
Yeah.
I'm sure working in IT, you know about SharePoint.
Yeah.
And comparing SharePoint, something that I could customize for my business, have the logos and everything show up, and share with my clients. It was a much cheaper alternative. So I guess initially is don't spend too much in the wrong direction.
Okay, you mentioned you weren't you're looking to hiring someone now. What's something that changed that made you like want to hire someone now and not before?
Time. So before I wasn't working full time. Now I'm working full time at a company called Bright Path. Um, they're in the business of childcare and daycare centers across North America. I'm helping them grow through acquisitions and new developments, opening up new sites, and that's taking up a lot of my time. During the day, I work there full time, and sometimes it takes me overtime, and it's difficult to kind of manage that with my business. So I'm talking to certain staffing agencies in the US that are trying to help me find uh, the right talent from sales and marketing perspective that would do that. I can outsource that to them. Um, of course, at an affordable rate, cheaper than what North America is. And they would do that for me, and I could do the technical work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's changed. That's led me to kind of now want to outsource and hire talent to do certain different parts of my business.
What's one thing young entrepreneurs can do to be better with their finances?
Better with your finances?
Yeah.
Oh, I um like make money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I so if if people want to do better with their finances, I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that would give better advice than me, but generally speaking, I would recommend people to invest in the stock market, invest in companies that you truly believe in, that have good fundamentals, um, and you think are undervalued. Or if you're not really that focused on investing, just invest into the index, like S&P 500. And you'll see that over the course of 30, 40 years or 20 to 30 years, it'll grow. And so if you have money, if you have like 10K, 20K, 30K, invest it.
So speaking of the stock market, are you actively looking at the stock market today?
I'm sitting on cash right now.
Yeah.
I'm not invested in any stocks. I was before this.
Do you believe the market's too high? Is that a reason you're keeping cash?
Yeah, things are really overvalued, I think, at the moment. The economy isn't doing great, so there's a lot of uncertainty. The only thing that concerns me is like a market crash,
Yeah.
right? Something like that happened in 2000 or '07 and '08, something like that. It concerns me, but I'm
So
just waiting for the right time to kind of start investing again.
like September is known to be a bad month for the stock market. Do you think September is a good month for people to get in, like buy in low? But yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty there as well. But do you think the uncertainty should kind of prevent people from going in right now?
If you're a long-term investor, look, if you think in the next 10, 20 years, the stock market's going to be performing better than it is now, then invest into the index.
Indexes.
Play it safe, invest in the index. But if you have ideas about certain stocks that you think are going to do good, like AI stocks, then by all means invest right now. But I'm just sitting on cash.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the client wins you're most proud of?
So one of my clients, they're called Boardroom Labs. They're a venture studio based out of Toronto, and I pitched my company to Andrew, or my services to Andrew, uh, and he said, let's set up a call. And we had a couple of calls, and then it turned into a contract. So that was my first real client win, and very proud of it. I think it was a lot of things like marketing, reach outs on LinkedIn, all coming together. And then finally, I landed a client. So I was very proud of that moment. And that relationship evolved. It continued to grow, and then one project turned into another, and then um, he brought me on a retainer basis. So I was a consultant doing certain like finance fractional work for him. So that was my biggest win.
So, what do you think works when you're trying to win a client, and what are mistakes that you might have made in the past when you're trying to secure a client?
I think being generic with clients is like using like generic marketing is not the best way to go about it. And I've done that mistake in the past. So I think when you reach out to clients, you have to be very customized in your messaging, especially in my field, to show them that you have the technical knowledge um, about their industry. And that really helps with business development and getting their attention. So I think be as customized as possible in your messaging to each client. That definitely helps.
Okay, going forward, are there any surprises you've seen in someone's financial? When you're looking at a company's financials, did you see anything shocking or funny?
Projections sometimes can be shocking, right?
Yeah.
Especially with new ventures who don't have any traction yet, but their projections show that they're growing rapidly, they're gaining market share really quickly. And then when you compare those to actuals, there's sometimes a big delta, right, between actuals and projections. So I try to be as conservative as possible and realistic as possible, but sometimes those projections just look like a hockey stick, like they just go like that, right?
They must be Canadians.
Yeah.
All right, behind the scenes, what does it feel like to be trusted with the future financials of a company?
I think there's responsibility when you're creating a package for a company that includes projections, um, their strategy, a strategic plan about what they're gonna the objectives that they're gonna achieve over the next 3 to 5 years. And there's a lot of back and forth with the founders as well about what their goals are, what they're looking to do, refine the process as well. So there's definitely an element of responsibility, but there's a lot of collaboration as well with the founders before going to the market and investors with the plan.
Hmm. All right, how do you think automation and AI is going to change financial modeling? Do you think it's going to change it in some way, or do you think humans will always be needed when it comes to financial modeling?
So there's already work done in terms of digitizing financial modeling. There's companies out there that um, create driver-based projections um, on the cloud that they're pretty robust. You can update them, and they're great for visualizations as well. I'm sure there's going to be a time in not in the distant future where you can tell AI to create a financial model for you for a specific industry, give it inputs for certain assumptions. For example, like technology, If you're modeling a SaaS company, you can give it your opening user base and tell it what your growth assumptions are on a monthly or quarterly basis, and tell it your churn assumptions as well, and tell it what geographies you operate in, and if you're looking to launch a new product and what the growth for that product is going to look like. Give it a narrative, and it might just create a financial model for you, a three-statement financial projections. So I think it's definitely going to happen. I think that it's going to help automate a lot of the process, but there's obviously going to be an element of human interaction there that's going to be feeding in the inputs, thinking about the situation, and thinking about the analysis that has been done, and sharing the information as well, and coming up with conclusions and findings from the information shared by AI. So I think there's going to be a pretty big impact of AI, and I think that a lot of people will benefit from it, but it's possible that a lot of jobs might become redundant as well.
Oh no. That's kind of scary. Whenever AI comes with most of the topics, in some way you always need humans. Like I think the creative aspect that humans bring. AI is more there to assist them, but yeah, some jobs do go away. Okay. Um, what are habits you think young entrepreneurs should build early to model their own finances?
Yeah, I would say whenever you start a new venture or a new business, as an entrepreneur, you want to have a clear vision of what you want your business to be. Um, Create a strategy, understand um, what your winning aspiration is, who you're competing against, where you're playing, how are you going to win in that field, and what are the management capabilities that you need to thrive. So you need to be able to answer those strategy questions internally before you can create a strategic plan for yourself or model out some of your projections um, before you go to investors if you're looking to raise money. But even for yourself, if you're not looking to raise money, you've got the funding. Um, you need to have a proper research in place to formalize your strategy, to make sure you know what you're going to do 3 months out, 6 months out, next 12 months. So I would say take the time to formulate your strategy before you take on any new venture.
Okay. Now our podcast is near its end. I just have a small industry relevant wrap up. Okay. Excel or Google Sheets?
Excel.
Why Excel?
You can just do so much more in Excel, but in terms of creating deliverables. But if you have like a small task where you need a lot of people to go in, and you don't have a shared server or a shared drive, it's a great way to connect with other people on the cloud and have them work on the Google Sheet while you work on it as well. So there's pros and cons.
Yeah. Okay, valuation or strategy, which excites you more?
I would say
Oh, it looks like it's tough to pick.
it's tough to pick. Yeah, I would say it's strategy.
Yeah, why strategy?
I think that strategy is very dynamic. Um, that's what excites me about it. And there's usually a back and forth. There's a conversation that you have with somebody, whether management or somebody in the corporate development team, about strategy. So you get to hear about other people's opinions. Not that you don't hear that in valuations as well, but I think just strategy is interesting because you look at an industry and you compare it to competitors, and you're thinking about how can I win, and how am I going to win, and where am I going to play. So these are really important questions that people share their opinions to, and it excites me.
Okay, raise capital or cut costs? What's harder?
Raising capital is pretty tough because you're getting someone else's money. Cutting costs, you can cut cost anytime, but it can have long-lasting impacts on your business if you're not cutting the right costs. It can impact your revenue down the line, but with raising funds, unless you have a solid business plan, unless you have solid traction already in place, no one's going to give you money.
That's true. All right, what's going to be your dream project? You have to choose between building a model for a startup, sports team, or a movie production.
I would say building a model for a sports team would be pretty exciting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why sports team?
Well, I think you're going to be looking at certain aspects of how the sports team makes money. So you're going to have an outlook on how many fans they have purchasing certain products online or in your stores, and how many fans come out to watch your games. So there's ticket sales as well, and so it's pretty interesting, like the impact that your fans can have on the bottom line. So you get to look into that. I think it's pretty exciting.
Since you mentioned sports, if financial modeling was a sport, what sport would it be and why?
I would say it would be table tennis, and because it's very technical.
Yeah, okay. Which client scenario stresses you out more? A company that's about to run out of cash in 30 days, or a startup pitching insane growth with no numbers to back it up?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Which client scenario stresses you out more? A company that's about to run out of cash within 30 days, or a startup pitching insane growth with no numbers to back it up?
I think a startup that is running out of money within 30 days is pretty scary,
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of jobs at stake, potentially.
Okay. All right, if you could use 3 Excel formulas forever, which ones would you pick? And do you know any secret ones that we don't know about?
I would use the IRR function is one of my favorites, because once you're done all the modeling and the projections, you get to look at what the returns are for a certain project. And index match has proven to be very useful in the past. And I would say NPV as well. I love the NPV function.
Okay. All right, now the podcast is near its end. What is one message you want to give to everyone right now?
What is this message? What is it relating to?
Related to your field, related to their finances, it can be anything.
Okay. Yeah, I would convey the message if you're starting off like a new business or as an entrepreneur. I would say keep at it. Don't give up. Like, I started my full-time job now, but I'm still looking at ways that I can grow my business. So convert your passion into a business and keep trying.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure this podcast is amazing. People are going to love you as well.
Hopefully.
I'm going to put your LinkedIn, and please check him out. He is amazing. He's an expert in his field. And please check out his company as well, North America Financial Modeling. Yeah, that's all. Is any last message, or that's all?
Yeah, and reach out to me if you have any questions or you're looking for any advice. Happy to kind of help out where I can.
All right. Thank you so much.